these days, so kind of team selection. I don't think you miss any insight that might be coming in for Jersey just yet.
Well, it'll be almost like for like. You don't have to take too many guesses. Fortunately, we've had a few people be able to roll through that wing position. So really the decision is do one of our forwards take one of those positions. Zach Butters has played a fair bit of time there over the last few weeks. And then Kane Farrell's played there, Sam Mays. So, there's a few guys there to consider. But we'll get that finalised today.
Just on Farrell, I guess the start list, he brings to the team.
Oh, well, Faz has really developed his game. We know that what he's brought to the game is just his superior finish. There's not too many that are better with the ball in his hands. What he's added to his game is, his ground level play and his work rate is really coming to the level. So, we're in a fortunate position where we always said that this was going to take a squad to be able to get the job done over the course of the whole season, and we've got tremendous faith that they've got enough work under their belt to be able to come in and make a difference. Oh, well, it's pretty simple with those guys. They're just bringing in some experience. They're pretty familiar with what it's all about, and they've both been going pretty well. So waiting for an opportunity, and it has been difficult for those guys because let's face it, as AFL players, they just want to play AFL footy. Now whether that's playing on the weekend with us or being able to go play with the Magpies, one of those has been taken away from us right now, and we're training them as hard as we possibly can. We're getting a few little scratches in to help them out. But we're really confident that they're physically ready to go and certainly got the game understanding that we need to be able to come in and get the job done.
What's he any chance?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. He's again, we'd like to probably get another game under his belt. There's an opportunity this week. We'll play a combo game with Freo. So the guys that are here that can play and are able will play in a scratchy against Gold Coast in a combination game. So that will be something different. But the guys have been doing it, and the feedback we're getting, it seems to be working really well. Our main thing out of that really is we just want to get some match fitness into the guys. What they do and where they run, and almost become secondary.
There was talk earlier in the week that the combo game might not be allowed under the rules. How difficult was it to put together to be able to have your guys playing with Fremantle against Gold Coast with three clubs?
Oh, it was just the logistics. I mean, the only thing that was holding it back was the approval, and given the fact that we take control of those matches, it's not an AFL run game, so the fact that we're taking a hold of those, and we had another willing party that was happy to entertain that concept. It was a bit of a no-brainer for us.
How many guys were you put out?
I think we got about 6, but we have to confirm that number by end of training session today. Yeah.
Good for them to have a run.
Oh, they're keen. I mean, there's one thing that you've got the guys out there playing, and but there's another bunch of guys that want to prove themselves that they can play and they're ready to go, and and that they get seen, so that they'll learn their spot or even replace someone. So we all need a little bit of pressure on us in our position. We've got a group that's playing pretty good footy, but it's nice to have an extended squad that's going pretty well as well. No, I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, at the moment, he's we're pretty settled on the 6 that we've been able to get a result with. Again, he's one of the players that we could very easily put in there straight away. But with the Dersma change, I would have thought that that's not quite like for like, so won't get the opportunity this week.
Fixture came out last night for around 6, another week up here, or potentially come home. How does that sit with you in another week within the half?
No, we'll go home after the Brisbane game. So I think we take off straight after that game. Again, I don't know the specifics of when we return or if it's a day before or on the day of, but we're quite prepared to go home after the Brisbane game. We've made that call. The AFL have given us approval to do so, so it seems to make sense to go back home, and if we need to get into that fly-in, fly-out, then we'll take it from there.
Probably frustrating you have to burn a home game up here at Metricon rather than playing Adelaide.
it would, to start there as a frustration point would be unfair. There's a lot more others. We've taken a fairly strong position. We've been well and truly informed by the AFL. We understand it's not a perfect scenario. I think we're adapting really, really well. We've made a focus not to have any distraction whatsoever. So if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. We'll take great stock in our leaders' position, in that they'll even it out in the end. So while we might be a little bit away at the start, we're certainly taking some lead from them that it all evens out in the end. So we expect to get our fair share of home games at the back end. And if you're looking at the bigger picture of things, that from a members and fans, that might be a little exciting, because the longer this goes and the more we're able to contain this thing, more confidence that people get, we'll start to fill our stadiums, and we'll start to get our members and fans back, and that's something I know that they'll look forward to.
Rockies were in a protective glove. I obviously played with him on the weekend. He's okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He popped his finger in round whatever 2, so round 1, that was 6 months ago. So he popped his finger, and he's got no problem, so he just uses it just to give him a little bit more support.
Does it, feel free to leave this one, but does it surprise you a little bit how, when you talk about Collingwood and Geelong going to West Coast, going to WA and a hub, sort of a few questions get raised as to how it is, where it feels like the Adelaide team, West Coast team, to forced into a hub sort of counterpoint?
No, not really. I'm not aware that that's the language that they're using amongst their own team and within their own team. That would be wrong for me to assume that they have that view. That might be the view of some people on the outside. But what the opinions and what's happening around the outside just can't match what's going on inside the white line. And for us, we've been really clear that we don't want to have any distractions. We understand it's an imperfect season. Again, I'll go back to we've taken great stock on the leaders that it all evens out in the end. If this means that a few Melbourne teams travelling into a hub for a couple of weeks, that might be just part of it.
How much does that affect the players? We've heard obviously Adam Simpson voicing his displeasure. For you guys, it feels like you just get down and getting on with your job. That has to have a positive impact on the players.
Oh, well, I think so. But again, I can't speak for another club. But certainly from us specifically, we've seen it as a great opportunity to be able to get together and spend some time together away. The activities are somewhat different. Even if we just look at life in Adelaide, we can't do a lot. So we train and we go home. And that's basically been our life. And it's been that way for even when we got stood down, I think, from March 24. So to come away for a small period of time, it's actually, somewhat different. It's a bit refreshing for us. We know our timeline. We have a clear timeline of when we're going home, and I think that all helps.
Victoria's also going nuts about the prospect of the grand final being played anywhere other than the MCG. As a 3-time premiership captain, working at the state where everyone, where do you think the GF should be played this year?
Are you surprised by that, eh?
I'm not surprised.
No, we're not surprised. But I think 12 months ago I spoke about, if we had a fresh look at things, and I'm sure there's a lot of factors that go into making the decision around the MCG. But I'd be more than happy to take the grand final in a state on a yearly basis. But I'm completely biased because being an interstate player, clearly I see some favour in being able to grow the game. Grow the game in different regions and different states and provide those opportunities. But given there's a contract in place till 2000 and whenever, it's not likely to happen anytime soon. But it is a year where we have to be open to new things. We can't be closed off to new possibilities. And I think all the way through this, because it's looked very different, we've really had to have that mindset. And if that means being a little more nimble, then so be it. I can't see it happening personally, but who knows? In 2 or 3 months' time or 2 months' time, it might be a real possibility. No, I don't think that means that. Yeah.
Can I get to line of West
Yeah.
Coast?
Last couple of guys.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that playing at night and struggling with the conditions. Back today, they believe they'll make a difference. What do you make of them and their inability to produce their best at the moment?
Oh well, I don't think it's condition specific first and foremost. They've had a few things that they want to get right in their game. I saw enough last week in Brisbane to suggest they're still quite a formidable team. And we know the challenges we've got. They've got more than one or two real threats in their side, and that's across every line. You don't become a premiership team without understanding that or having that within your team and at your disposal. So they've got a few threats that they can, that if they get their game going and we're not mindful of or take off them, then they'll get the game on their terms and we're in for a really tough day. But what we've been really strong on this year is we execute our style, we stay with that, we challenge a team for 100 minutes of the game, playing our way, and if we do that and we feel like we execute that for long enough, then we can beat any side.